Hi everyone, it's Terry here from nutsaboutsstamping.com. In today's video, I'm going to show you another Mother's Day card idea. Last week I did a different one. This week I'm back with the Painted Poppies and Timeless Tulips stamp set, and I'm going to show you how to create a card that has a very unusual fold to it. So it's a fun fold card, perfect for Mother's Day. Here's what you're going to do to create this card. I'm going to do this in a little bit of an unusual fashion. I'm going to show you all the bits and pieces first, get you to put those together, and then I'll show you how to create the fun fold. The card base is going to be Poppy Parade. I've cut it 11 by 4 1/4. So you need one piece of your favorite color for the card base. Then you need to use some designer series paper. For me, I've got this pattern here. You're going to need 2 pieces of this, and you're going to cut them to be 2.5 by 4. So you need 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 4, and then you want layers for those. And so these would be 4.5 by 2 3/8. So let's put those together first. What I recommend is that you choose your favorite pattern, paper, and your favorite colors that correspond to it. The other thing that I would recommend is when you're cutting your paper, make sure that your designs are going to be facing in the correct direction. So keep watching through this video, and you'll see what I mean when I come to the end and I get ready to put it all together. So these are going to be layers on the card. Now, the other thing you need then is you need 3 pieces of corresponding designer series paper. So if you'll recall, when I turned this design over, it's this on the back. So you need 3 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch wide and are 3 3/4 inch long. And then, once again, you're going to need 3 pieces of a solid color that would be the layer. And what I'm going to do is put those together. So there's one. Here's number 2. Again, use your favorite pattern paper and then do a matching or corresponding solid underneath. Okay, so we've got those ready to go. Now, you're also going to need an embellishment for the front of your card. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use this Painted Poppies image. I'm going to stamp it down using my Memento ink, and then I'm going to color it. Now I have a couple of choices, and what I want to do to color is I want to pick some of the colors that are in, or a color that's in this designer series paper. And what I decided to do was color mine with the Rich Razzleberry Stampin' Blends. So I will get started on coloring this, and then what I'll do is once it's all done, I will come back and we'll die cut it out, and we will continue to create this fun fold card. Back in a moment. I've completed coloring my poppy, and I'm going to die cut it out using one of my Layering Circles framelits. And then I have a scrap piece of Poppy Parade, and from the same pack, I'm going to choose a scallop Poppy Parade layer. So I've got this set up on my die cutting machine, and I'll run it through, and that'll create a nice element for the front of my card. So I'm going to put that together next. And you can see that the card is somewhat starting to take shape. There's still that mystery element to the fun fold, but you'll see that happen in just a second. All right, so I have that ready to go. Now, because I want this to be a Mother's Day card, as I stated at the beginning, I have taken the Happy Mother's Day phrase from the Timeless Tulips stamp set, and I have my Poppy Parade ink, there we go, and I've got my phrase ready. All right, so let's go back and review. I've got all of these layers, and I'm going to take one of the layers and I'm going to adhere the Mother's Day phrase over on the left side of it. And you'll see why in a second. Okay, so I have all of my layers ready to go, and now what I'm going to do is bring in my card base, and I'm going to show you how to create this fun fold. So to do that, I am going to use my Simply Scored. So I'm going to lay my Poppy Parade cardstock so that the long way, so that it's the 11-inch long, and I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to score on 2 3/4, and I'm going to turn it all the way around, and I'm going to score it on 2 3/4 again. Now, if you don't have a scoring board like I do, that's okay. You can use your paper cutter because that has a scoring tool. The key is you want these to be equidistant from either end. So you can use a pencil, and then you can use your bone folder. You can determine how, what you're going to do based with what you have at home. So then you're going to turn it over, and you're going to fold each of these in so that they are like flaps. All right, so I have this ready to go, and now I'm going to bring in all of my pieces. I'm going to use some snail adhesive, and on one side you want to add one of these Designer Series paper layers, and you can see now why it would be important when you're cutting your Designer Series paper to make sure your pattern is facing a direction that you're happy with. And then I'm going to use snail again, and I'm going to put this one on the second flap, and I am putting my layers more towards the fold side, leaving this little sort of door opening with some Poppy Parades peeking through. You can put yours right in the center, you could put yours more towards the opening, it's your choice. And next what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to bring in my tear and tape adhesive. I want a very strong adhesive to be on my layers that are going to go across the front. So I'm going to start with the Happy Mother's Day. This one's going to be in the center of my card. You'll see in a second. So I'm going to close the flaps, and I am going to, you want to make sure that the tear and tape adhesive does not go over. And I'm just going to eyeball it, and I am going to add that piece like so. And then I'm going to take my second strip. I'm going to take another piece of this adhesive, and this time I'm going to put it down below, but I've got the adhesive on the opposite side. So I'm just going to line it up with the first one, like so that they end fairly close to each other. And then the last one is going to go in the same direction as the bottom one. So they're going to be sort of like a crisscross or a cross opening. And this one's going to go at the top, like so. So you see how this is taking shape? So when you open it and you close it, it's going to be like so. And now I've got my embellishment. Now, one thing I want to let you know is that my embellishment is quite large, and you'll see the effect of that in a second. You may choose to do an embellishment that is a little bit smaller for your card, but I kind of like the way mine turned out because it keeps the card closed. Now, when the person gets it, they're just going to have to flip this out and flip this out gently, and then they can open it up like so. So you'll see why I'm suggesting that your embellishment, you may want to make it a little bit smaller, but I really like mine the way it is. And then, as a final touch, a lot of you have been asking me to show you how I would decorate the inside of the card. And before the video began, I created a piece, and I used one of the other stamps from the Painted Poppies stamp set, and that is going to be for the inside of my card. I chose not to stamp a phrase because I've got Happy Mother's Day on the outside, and I'm going to leave lots of room inside for me to write a nice comment to my mother for Mother's Day. So there we go. I've got a really cute fancy fold card idea that's not difficult to make when you have all the layers and pieces ready to go and you choose colors and papers that are pleasing to your eye. Now, along with this entire suite, there are some embellishments. After the video is over, I might add a couple of embellishments. What I'll do is I will put a photo of this card over on my blog along with a complete listing of the supplies and ingredients, or supplies and the measurements. And I'll also show you a second sample idea using a different designer series paper and embellishment so that you'll have another idea to try as well. If you would like to place an order for the products used to make this card, you should know that these stamp sets and papers are possibly going to retire at the end of May. I believe it's the end of May. So you'll want to place your order soon so that you don't miss out on getting these products. I'm Terry. I am nuts about stamping. I hope you'll create something amazing today too. Bye for now.